Again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Power Effects, episode 8, where we're going to talk about the real cost of being in the trades. I am Sean Quinn, and I am with Jake Price. Hello, Jake. How you doing tonight?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing very well. So you wanted to dive deep into what? What was today's subject?
Well, I kind of want to go back to your personal YouTube for your training stuff, your tech training solutions.
Right.
You had talked about getting into the trades or getting an apprenticeship, like the routes to take. But I'd like
many
to go
different
over is
routes.
kind of, so there's so many ways to get in and what to do. What I'd like to talk about, which a lot of people don't realize or don't want to talk about, is the cost to get in and the cost to stay in. What's it going to cost you to start a career? Because tools aren't free, and
No, it's
most
not.
employers don't supply them unless you, like Kimberly Clark has been great. They kind of cut back on that though. But most places don't supply you tools. I know my apprenticeship and my first 8 years in the trade, everything was out of my own pocket. Unless I broke it, my first boss was super cool. If I broke a tool, making him money, he would replace it for me, which I thought was outstanding.
I
But not everyone
never
gets
had
that.
that. No.
Yeah, not a lot of people get that experience. But I was pretty lucky.
When I first started out, I borrowed people's tools and I bought Craftsman. And Craftsman Donald cutters were so bad. My hands were in pain.
Terrible.
And I thought it was just me. And I was literally in pain. I'm like, what is wrong with my hands? And then one day someone said, why don't you buy a Klein? I'm like, what is a Klein?
Yeah.
And I bought a Klein and my hand never felt so much better. So yeah, I never had that opportunity in the beginning.
Sometimes the price matters, and you're paying for more than just a tool. You're paying for the quality and the experience too. So it's like a good pair of boots. It's like boots too. Like
right.
Typically, more expensive boots, American made, are better than these cheapy like Wolverine boots you can buy at Walmart for $60.
Right, and you're right. Good pair of boots, because sometimes, like where we came from, I mean, you're on your feet for 18 hours, 16 hours. You need something good, because, man, when I go home, my back is killing me from wearing cheap, bad boots.
Yeah, it's not like you're 16 hours in the grass or like just 16 hours on concrete and steel.
Yeah.
It's a lot of wear and tear on the body.
I just think you're tense. You're trying to figure it out. I love troubleshooting. It's one of my favorite things to do. But you're still tense. Your body's kind of tight. You're trying to think. I don't even drink water during those 16 hours. I really don't. I have to remind myself.
I make sure I stay hydrated, man. I'm big on Monster energy drinks, so I'm always well caffeinated and always hydrated because I drink close to a gallon of water a day on top of 2 or 3 Monsters. So
okay, so
kidneys,
that's
but I'm hydrated.
So that part was just talking about the boots. Good quality boots. You need it. So what are the things does a person trying to get into trades? What do you think they need? What are your ideas?
Aside from ambition,
yeah, definitely. You can't teach that sometimes.
You need like a beginner set. A lot of places, a lot of companies offer like beginner sets or like a good, well-rounded set of tools that you don't have to spend a ton of money on to get in. Klein's very good. Southwire has some. Weha, they're a little pricey, but they're a really good brand. But you also don't need to buy the big dog sets. Just buy stuff to get in and learn, and then buy as you progress and buy as you get paid.
Okay. I just showed a picture to the team about the client you just talked about. 28-piece set. Has almost everything you need just to start as an apprentice, at least. The safety glasses.
That's a good set too, because Klein has another set where they don't have like the voltage indicator, the tick tracer.
Yeah,
it's a decent tool to have. It's frowned upon. A lot of people call it the Widowmaker. If your batteries are dying, it's not going to indicate voltage. So,
well, that's why I'm talking to my video. That's what I'm talking about. One of my videos is that even though it senses, you still need to use a meter. You don't stop.
Oh yeah,
kind of like Mark Johnson told us is a live test.
Yeah. I had my old company, one of the project managers. He's also a electrical engineer. he would always drive that home when we were checking bus bar, when we open up gears. We're young kids. I think I was 24 at the time, and I was working with a kid that was 23. Our foreman
Mm-hmm.
was 30, and we're like, all right, we know the switch is off, but we never verified anything. So we're going to go in. He's like, oh, whoa, whoa, get your meters out. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, I just watched you turn the switch off. He's like, hey, that doesn't mean anything, dude. He's like, you got
Yeah.
to get your meter out, and you show me and you that it's off. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And you had a meter, right? As a young guy? Or is that one of the
Yeah,
tools you had? Okay.
so it's not in the very beginning because I didn't know how to use it.
Yeah, me
So
neither. I was
I
never
had no
taught
idea what I
about it.
was doing. So a lot of the and like again, I got I think a really good handoff and a really good start to my career.
Did you?
Everybody I ever worked with always drove home safety. Even I mean, I was non-union and they were driving home safety. I'm like, hey man, if you don't know what you're doing, don't waste your money on it. We'll teach you.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to that point. So like I think the first 2 years I never used a meter because I didn't know how to do it. And I was mostly like new construction, a lot of stuff like that, and like the very beginning of my career. So I didn't
Right.
have to do the troubleshooting side. I didn't have to verify powers going to this motor. I didn't have to do a lot of that stuff, but I had a lot of great guys teach me early on safety
Okay.
first. Like if you don't know how to use it, don't use it because you're probably not qualified to touch it.
Good point. And then what was the tools that you had and you recommending to the people listening? What other tools do you recommend? We just talked about Klein's basic tool set. What else are you talking about?
So I'm kind of tough to bounce off of because I'm very
You said you had a
set in my
list, right?
ways.
You have a list
I'm
on the
very
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
I'm very set in my ways with the tools that I like and the tools that I use every day. So
Mm-hmm.
Klein cushion grip screwdrivers is an everyday tool. They have a client the set of screwdrivers I'm talking about is like $100. You can get a 20-piece set of screwdrivers and nut drivers for $100. And like that's
Okay.
mostly it's a cushion grip, nut drivers and cushion grip screwdriver set. But
Okay.
I'm very, very big into Klein. Um, that first one's perfect. It was like a 7-piece set.
Yeah, let me
It
show
has
let me show the
has
team.
everything you need in it. Um,
Yeah.
and again, if you're getting into the trade, you shouldn't be doing anything energized. You shouldn't need insulated screwdrivers. You shouldn't need insulated tools.
I agree.
Start small. Start low. I'm very particular now that I have 13 years in the trade. Klein is tried and true for me. Um,
And it's not a bad price for $49.
no, but
Um,
so the hard part is too though, like when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight's one of the worst places you can go as a beginner because everything's cheap, and then you see Klein, it's like, oh, why would I pay $50 for a set of screwdrivers for seven when I can go to Harbor Freight and buy 30 screwdrivers for $30?
yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
about the quality and the safety. So like Klein is tried and true. They've been around forever. Great quality tool. I've been using them for 13 years straight. Um, Also, when you get into like power tools, like I'm a diehard Milwaukee guy.
Uh,
I don't
I,
use yellow.
I'm a DeWalt guy, so
All of my all of my battery power tools are red and black Milwaukee. Every
okay.
single one of them, except where I have a Ingersoll Rand half-inch impact
You're
for my
talking
car.
about Milwaukee, but I'm showing DeWalt.
Yeah, yeah. I'm all Milwaukee, dude. No yellow in my house. I'll take that back. I have a dual compound 12-inch miter saw that's
Mhm.
DeWalt.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I have right now. And the only reason I became DeWalt is when I took over Perini department, the person who passed
Mhm.
away, he had nothing but DeWalt.
Yeah.
And I just stayed DeWalt. I haven't left
See,
since.
I bought DeWalt stuff when I was a second year apprentice,
Yeah.
and all the guys that I worked with and the company that I worked for, um, all of his company trucks were stocked with Milwaukee battery powered tools. So like when my
Okay.
batteries would die, I'm using my foreman's tools,
Right.
and I'm like, man, this kicks ass compared to DeWalt. But I mean, this is again 12 years ago.
Yeah, right, right.
So I'm sure they came a long way. I'm just so dead set in my ways. So like again, Klein is my number one.
I do like a
Milwaukee's my
good
number
climb.
one.
Hmm.
Uh, Kimberly Clark provides a lot of tools. So like they have Weha. They're
That's what
great. They're
I'm
insulated.
starting to like that. I'm going to show that picture of it.
But
Yep.
but again, my go-to, because you're not supposed to be working on energized equipment, I always go back to the uninsulated cushion grip Kleins. It is my day-to-day, everyday carry. My EDC is a Klein screwdriver, flathead.
I do like a good
We
Klein. I'll be honest. It's such a comfortable tool to use. You
Weeha's
know,
great too. The
it
insulation is a little finicky though.
it is, and it feels a little. I like Weehaw, but sometimes is a little too much insulation in the hand. It doesn't feel as comfortable as
Yeah, the big screwdrivers
as a
get
red
they're-
Donald cutter from Klein. That's what I usually use is the red handle Donald
mhm.
cutters. Donald cutters and Lyman's the only two tools I really use. I barely pull anything else out when I work.
Yeah, I use the blue grip
Oh,
uh
do you? Okay.
diagonal cutters. Yeah, I've had I don't know 15 pairs over the past 13
Yeah,
years.
yeah, cutting live wires by accident. Oh, darn it!
Yeah,
That one's that one's done.
the worst one. Yeah, the worst one I ever did was I cut a bundle. I was working in Graterford Prison. Now this is 9 years ago. The brand new
Okay,
prison. You were not allowed to do anything energized there,
okay.
and someone got shocked. I don't know how. So we had to go through and verify that everything was turned off in the entire building. So we had lighting whips hanging down. We had wires hanging out of the wall. We had to
Mm,
go through, verify it was off, tag it, who tested it, what date it was, and if it was dead or alive. So we're going
okay.
through hundreds of whips and hundreds of receptacles. We had 14 buildings. And again,
Man.
Widowmaker, I used my voltage indicator, nothing there. I'm like, okay, grab the bundle, cut it, 277. Biggest fireball I ever had in my face.
Ooh,
That was the biggest
277.
fireball. Biggest fireball I ever
Oh
had in my
man.
face from a blow up. And it melted those diagonal cutters and didn't even cut through all the wires. It wasn't even a cut through and like wiggle. These got stuck in there,
Wow.
melting. Finally tripped the breaker, but it was bad, and the wire wasn't even cut. I nicked the insulation and it melted my cutters.
You got lucky because 277.
Oh,
That
dude!
that is definitely that's a killer right there.
And
It's
again,
called
back
the
then
holding voltage. Ooh.
I was uh I was 24, 25, so I was still
Yeah.
relatively new to the trade,
Mm-hmm.
and I blew it up right in front of my face, and like it was right
Wow.
after we had a site-wide meeting. 500 people in this meeting say, "Hey, nothing energized. We're going through and verifying. Electricians, you go verify, tag it, date it, go." I'm like, okay, cool. So we're going
Right.
through, boom, blows it up. Like, man, we just had a meeting about not doing anything energized, and I blew this up. So that
Ooh.
was 40. It was what? I think the set that I buy is where we at? $25. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you go through one or two because of
Yeah.
mistakes,
Yeah.
you start to hate spending $25.
Because it sounds like to me, I mean, what all this is going on, I'm looking at all the prices. It looks like you could easily spend about $500, right, with everything you would need, everything, and then some things you want. So I'm thinking about maybe about $500. Does that sound right, or is that
If yeah,
too
if
much?
you if you
I'm
buy
not talking about
everything,
cheap stuff. I'm real stuff. Yeah.
so if you go look up the Klein 18-piece set,
All right.
I think
Wait,
that's a well-rounded kit. I think it's a well-rounded kit to get you in and started, knowing you had to purchase more. And
all
I,
right.
I, I forgot to write the price down for that. I think it was somewhere around $200.
Oh, I see. Even comes with the tool
Got-
belt.
You got pouch, belt, screwdrivers, adjustable channel locks, diagonal cutters, linesman, needle nose. It's pretty much everything you need to do when you first start because you shouldn't be
And
working on
safety
anything out.
glasses too. Safety
Yep.
glasses also.
You shouldn't be touching anything energized. You shouldn't be drilling holes if you don't know how to drill holes. So I think that's a
Hmm.
very well-rounded first set
Okay.
to get you on a day-to-day. That's gonna be your everyday carry on top of other tools that you like.
And it's a leather tool pouch. I cannot find a leather tool pouch. I've been trying to get one for
Mhm.
my son. Everything's fabric. I can't stand fabric pouches. I can't. You
Yeah,
can't
it's
get
tough,
that
dude.
at any Home Depot or Lowe's. I should try a supply. I'll see if they got it, but I can't
I'll
get them.
check. So you want a tool pouch like similar to that one?
Yeah, yeah. I like leather.
I'll
I'm
check.
sorry. I like the feel of the leather versus because mine's
I'll
from.
check my basement tomorrow. Let me check my
All right,
basement tomorrow. I think I have a brand new one that I never used because
all right,
I bought one to load up to start doing side work again. But I again like set my ways I can't get out of. I am a diehard fan of the Carhartt duck apron. So I have all my
all right.
tools in that. So I have this brand new leather one downstairs. I don't have a belt for it, but I'm pretty sure I still have the.
I got a belt. I got an extra belt. The thing is you can't get them anymore. Everything's fabric.
They're
I
tough.
can't stand
Hmm.
fabric.
Yeah, and it just deteriorates.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up. My tool belt is from when I first entered the trade, and that was 27 years ago.
Yeah.
It's still holding up. Nothing really wrong. I just fixed the tape that holds the tape. That's it, and still kicking butt. It's got plenty of glue, the blue glue stain on it, but that's it. It's awesome.
It doesn't hurt it.
It's
That's what's holding
awesome.
it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that I went through one leather pouch ever that I destroyed is because the belt loops blew out
Oh, okay. Mine's
and
holding up.
I couldn't keep stapling it together, so I ran out of leather to staple.
Only thing might not be holding up is the belt because I'm weight gaining. But yes, it's probably the only
Hmm.
thing not holding up. The gaining that weight is like
So
crying. It's screaming at
I
me.
always had I always had a belt just for the pouch. I never put it right on my pants.
Oh, okay.
So so like lunchtime I just pop the belt off, hang it up,
That's what I have. Yeah.
and go. So I didn't have it on my hip all day long. I could maneuver it, or if like my hip started to hurt, I could shift it to my back. Like wearing a
Okay.
tool, you don't want to wear a tool pouch all day anyways. They say like not to equate a man's struggle to a pregnant woman, but they say like wearing a tool pouch all day, like if a front facing tool pouch will actually pull your hips out of place,
Okay.
similar to a pregnant woman carrying through length of term.
I can
So it
see
can do
that.
the same damage where it rotates your pelvis, it rotates your pelvis forward, and like so you
Hmm.
start having like sciatica issues, a lot of pain from that. So they
So
said it's
that's why
similar,
I get that.
and
All right.
I don't want to say that men go through that same pain because we don't,
Yeah.
but they said it's a similar effect where your pelvis actually rotates out of place, and that's where you'll start to pinch your sciatica. So if you can side carry a tool bag, or when I was in construction and like climbing all over the place, or like we were like on big construction sites, I would wear
Hmm.
the like the double bag, almost like a carpenter set or like a rigger set, where I had two tool pouches on either side, and you have like the shoulder harness holding it all up,
Yeah.
so you could disperse the weight to your hips and shoulder, so it wasn't all one load dragging you down. But
I had the
if you're just
tool
doing,
bucket. I had the tool bucket, and then I had a belt where it wasn't on me when I did commercial. I push a cart around, and then I would just take the tools up with me, but it'd be on the cart as I move around to job to job. That's what I
dude,
did in
that was
commercial.
the other hard part for me too, like coming to Kimberly Clark, and because like before Kimberly Clark, I worked for myself, and then I worked for a contractor for 6 years.
Mm,
So my previous, like my first, I'll say career employer, he drove home. If I wasn't wearing my tool pouch, I wasn't prepared to work.
mm.
So every day I have my tool pouch on it, and if I didn't, he's like, "Hey man, what, are you not working today?" I'm like, "No, I am." He's like, "Oh, where's your tools?" I was like, you got me. So it was drilled in our heads to wear tool pouches, and you'll never be
Okay.
unprepared. So coming to Kimberly Clark, and everyone's pocket, like everyone's got a screwdriver in their pocket or a pair of dikes in their diagonal cutters. It's not
Yeah.
politically correct anymore.
No, that's fine.
And
Everybody's
they're,
saying it.
um, and then you're up and down ladders to and from your toolbox, up and down. So it's a
Hmm.
lot of wasted time because no one's ever fully prepared. Where it was driven in my head, dude.
Yeah, that was a little rude for me too. Came from local union, and you had to wear tools and everything with you. What I did anyway with my contractors, except for refineries, it was the same way as down in Kimberly Clark. It wasn't, it was the same way.
Yeah.
You just bring your tools with you. You didn't carry them. So what other tools? So you talked about the Klein, right? I personally, I'm
Oh yeah.
looking at the 28. I like the 28 better. I think it's missing some things. The other one, the
So
16,
look up
18,
another. It's a little pricey. Look up the 41 piece.
41
That's
piece.
kind of 41 piece is kind of like the the whole package for hand tools that you would need, I think, anyways. There's a
All
couple
right.
different ones.
Let's take a look at it. All right, this is the 41 piece. See, that's Allen keys. That's what I was wondering because
Allen
the other one,
keys,
yep,
headlamp, jab saw, fish
level,
tape.
anti-dog
Yep.
level right here,
Comes with a
flashlight, very needed.
little voltage tester, voltage indicator,
Fish. I mean, they don't
outlet
really need a fish, but because a contractor
receptacle
supply.
tester.
Yep. And what's this? Is
Yeah,
this a
but
lockout? What's that right there? This
that's a
one right here.
magnetic tip. That's for demagnetizing the shaft on your screwdriver.
Okay.
It magnetizes or demagnetizes your shank. But
Look
then
at that. It comes with a stubby too.
I'll do the
You
stubby.
need a stubby, guys. If you're
Yeah,
going
you
to buy
do.
tools, buy a stubby.
And then but also with this whole kit too, like you could be fully prepared to do side work with this. So you don't have to just be
Yeah.
working for somebody. You can do your own work with this full set.
Yeah, because you got wire choppers here, cutters,
You got everything you need. You got everything you need
crimpers.
except for the material. Maybe some power tools, but
Yeah. I'm teaching my kids though not to use power tools on any type of screws on outlets and switches. Like, oh, Mr. Quinn,
yeah,
the guy last year let us. I'm like, well, I'm not him. Use your hand tools.
that's another one. One of the
Nice.
foremans on my job site always drove home too. If you don't have to use power tools, don't use them. Like you'll
Yeah,
destroy stuff.
I've destroyed outlets by using power tools. Like literally
Yep.
fell apart in my hand. I'm like, okay, I guess I can't use that again.
Yep.
That's a good kit. I like that. I personally like that very much. The 41. Now, if I would recommend whoever's going in industry get that one because sometimes in these jobs, the foreman or your journeyman, you're with your journeyman as you were. Sometimes they're going to give you a job to do by yourself to see if you can do it, and you should have all the tools there to do that job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah.
So, because like I tell people, this is your livelihood. This is what's going to make you your living. So, get the tools you need to do to make you living.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man. What other tools do you recommend?
One that I noticed, I don't think the the client kids had. I didn't see a hammer.
Oh, I didn't see a hammer either. You're right.
A hammer is very important. Um,
You're right. Did not see a
Also
hammer.
wrenches, socket set,
Okay.
utility knife.
That one showed you. That one had a utility knife.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. I'm going to show the hammer. Now, one thing I found out, I don't know if you're that way, but back when I first started, I bought the biggest hammer. And I don't know why
I
I
was the
did because
opposite.
I'm an electrician. I was an electrician, well, because everybody else did. I went with the crowd. And
I
the
still have
hammer
the
was
first
so
hammer.
cumbersome. And I kept using this heavy crap hammer. And then I dropped it when I was on an extension ladder. HVAC guy came by and said, thank you for the hammer. And he said, I'll never see you again. I went in the truck. And then I bought
Yeah,
a
right.
cheap, small hammer after that. And I'm like, wow, why did I ever go to a big hammer? Because it was so comfortable using a smaller hammer. Because you're just putting staples and boxes in.
Oh, see, for me too, I was commercial industrial, so I was all concrete and drywall stuff. So mine was
Uh,
setting anchors, but you figure for like commercial stuff, like I'm setting boxes with. Um, I was a huge fan of. I don't actually know what they're even called. I call them thunder studs. I don't know if they're called cinch bolts or
which ones are the ones that squeeze?
what was you hammer in and then
Yeah.
you tighten it down and it wedges itself in the concrete.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
even know.
I don't remember the name.
Uh,
Because I fell in love with the.
is a stud anchor.
I think it might be stud, yes. Because I fell in love with the wedges, the one at Kim Clark. I fell in love with those. They wedge. They got the two sides, and you put the screw on the other side. And then as you squeeze, it just
Oh,
compresses.
compresses.
I
Oh,
love
the
that
double
because you
expand.
could take it out. You
Double,
could take it out. That's what I love about them. You know,
are you talking
uh,
about the lead set
not lead.
where you screw it in and you hammer it, then you can take that out and it leaves the
N- no,
thread in the wall?
it's got a thread. You go through a hole to the other side of the thread, and it's got almost like a spring. And
So
as you
put in
tighten it,
put in double expansion because that's I used to use those. all the time. That is my go-to. Double expansion
That
for
might be
cinder
the one.
block and a stud
That's
anchor
it.
for, yeah.
That's
So
it,
double
buddy.
expansion was
I
for
love these. I never knew about them until Kimberly Clark. That's when I found out. I
see,
love
I use
these.
these all the time until I came to Kimberly Clark, and then like guys like Bob Marandola, Mark Furness, they always use the lead sets. I
Uh,
never used a lead set until I got there. I was like, I don't even know how to use this,
well,
dude.
the lead set's permanent, and there's many
Yeah.
times you're taking it out, and you're like, oh man, I like this
So
because it
this
just comes out. You know?
I grew up in the trade using those and
Yeah.
stud anchors. So we use
I mean,
those for for like hollow block or like soft concrete or brick. You get away with a double expansion, and a stud anchor I used for solid concrete.
like this.
Yep, yep. Yeah,
Okay.
you drill your hole, hammer it in, and you tighten it, and it wedges in. I
My
use that.
problem is I always forget to cover this, and then I destroy it, and then I can't get a bolt in it anymore.
So my
Like,
one thing I learned early on, again, I had great mentors in
yeah.
my upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, get a rod coupling, hammer away, dude. Put a
Right.
rod coupling on the end of that thread and just beat it because you're not going to damage the threads that way. Then you can
Okay.
send it home. The
Good.
worst case
Good
scenario
tip.
is you'll bend the stud before you damage the threads.
Good point. Think before you work, guys out there.
But again, like so, it's tough with like a corporation. So you look at the price of that. That first one is $25 from Granger.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
doesn't sound like a lot of money until you're buying that for a job, and you got to buy
Yeah.
300 of them.
You got to put it
When
in
you
the
work for a
price.
right, and when you're working for the corporation, it's like, oh well, we have these in stock, so just use them. So it's like a, I don't even know what the term would be. It's like a out of sight, out of mind for it. No one knows the cost because they don't have to buy them. But if you were to go to a job or a side job, like, oh, I need some double expansions, like, ooh, these are pricey, dude. It comes out to like 25 cents per anchor for a quarter 20 anchor.
Yeah. That is a good point. How expensive that is.
And that
Uh.
too, like with those anchors, you need a hammer drill. You need like a quarter 20 double expansion. You need a half-inch hole. And if you're going concrete or cinder block, you need a masonry bit. That's another big expense.
So you're
Wrench set, yeah.
talking about
I
wrenches and
just
stuff. What company do you like, or do
I
you
use
just don't really care? I'm just showing this one. It's not for the company, just to show what wrenches are to the
for
people out
me,
there.
like I think like clutch flex is overrated. I think snap-on's overrated. I think you
Hmm.
said blue ball. I think blue ball's overrated. I use Husky and I use gear wrench. Gear
Okay.
wrench is like I think or Cobalt stuff like that. Like I use
Uh,
Husky and gear wrench. That's my entire set. My sets.
all right. These aren't wrenches. These are socket sets. But this is Colbert. Colbert.
Cobalt.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cobalt.
Cobalt socket set, not wrenches. I typed
But
wrenches.
yeah,
That's
like
what they gave me.
when I started with a Husky set. It was I think a 20 piece.
Hmm.
It was it was American Standard and metric. I think it was like $60 or $65 for the whole
Hmm.
kit.
Okay.
But you got metric and standard, and typically in construction you don't come across metric too often unless you're working on specific gear.
Machines from overseas usually.
Right,
So
yeah. So that's when you run into the metric stuff, and it's typically like 10 millimeter or 13 millimeter, 14 millimeter.
okay, I want to take a look at the price of the Husky tools. All right, so a small set from looks like quarter inch up to probably 7/8 or an inch is $19. For a
So
metric, it's
cheapy like
$19.
it's cheapy like that, or again, like if you got the money, look up the like what I think if you're real about it, or if you get a nice paycheck. I bought early on was the Husky 300 piece set. 300 piece socket set.
All right, there goes.
And that's everything you need and more. The first one, the 3 drawer, it's like 150 bucks. Was it 170?
That ain't bad though. That ain't a
Yeah, it
bad
comes with its own
price.
kit. I think it comes with wrenches, quarter, 3/8, half-inch drives, sockets. And to me, that's an unbeatable set.
That's not
It gets you,
bad.
yeah, you get 24 wrenches, you get Allen keys, you get a nut driver.
And for
To
the
me, it's that's
unorganized people, you get drawers so you can keep it
yeah.
somewhat organized.
But the only thing I do recommend
Look,
is like
Allen
after,
keys. All right.
yep, Allen keys, you get
The different size screws. You know.
yep,
All right.
you get the wrenches, you get metric standard, you get the 3 different drives and their extensions. The only thing I would recommend is having some sort of strap, because once that ages, those drawers like to slide open by themselves. I guess the new ones come with a clip on it. Mine didn't have a clip when I bought it. Again, that
Yeah,
was
it looks
12
like
years
it.
ago. You close it with that clip, so I guess they
Yes,
already
right
fixed the
there.
design that I didn't like.
Mm-hmm. They probably heard your complaint.
Yeah, I was never a formal complaint. I never complained on an internet. I just bitched about it on the job site.
And my thing is that you always hear that lifetime warranty. I always forget to put people up when I always just get another tool, buy another one. I never.
Yeah, well, so Craftsman was always great with that, and Sears. That's probably why they went out of business. They always honored that lifetime warranty. You could come in
Yeah.
with a level broken in half or a 3/8 socket wrench with all the with that bent, and they would honor it. They wouldn't even ask you what you did. They say, okay, well, lifetime warranty.
I remember that because I took some stuff when I thought about it. I would take it back to Sears when I was still in the Grand Island Mall and replace some tools. Not all the time, but I would definitely think about it.
Yeah,
These tools
another
are
good
not
one.
expensive, but this is what I think, like you said, I think they should have it if they're going into the industry. Maybe, like you said, buy the basic set first and then
Same,
keep
but
building.
again, it's like you if you itemized, it's not
Hmm.
expensive. If you
Right.
buy the socket set and you buy the Klein journeyman set and you buy a flashlight and a utility knife and you buy a good hammer, you're
Hmm.
at you're at 1,500 bucks before you know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So individually, it's an easier pill to swallow, especially and again, like if you don't have the finances for it, buy a pair of linesman plier by themselves. Get a good pair of Kleins for 40 bucks. Next
Hmm.
paycheck, buy a nice pair of Klein strippers, 20
Yeah.
bucks.
Yep.
Milwaukee razor blade, 35 bucks. So if you go just set little milestones for yourself, it's a lot easier, especially to give. I always push for commercial industrial. That's where the money is. If
Hmm.
you like residential, go that route. You're going to make more money working for yourself than you ever will working for someone.
Right.
And a lot of residential guys start at a very low rate.
Of course.
So you might only be able to swing 20 or 30 bucks a paycheck for new tools or buy one
Hmm.
screwdriver at a time. That's fine too, but set milestones because the more tools you have, the more work you can do and then eventually work for yourself. And then you'll find
That
that
was me.
you work a
I was
side
that
job
way.
on a Saturday for 400 bucks when you're
Hmm.
getting paid 600 bucks a week from your boss. So
Yeah, that was definitely me.
once you have the experience and the tools, you'll realize your worth.
Okay. Just got to get into the industry. There's plenty.
Yeah.
There's so much work. And that's what I keep telling the guys in my class. There's so much work. It's not even
Oh yeah.
funny. They're like you seen the little not advertisement on the news. They're laying off 30,000 here, 20,000 here. Well, there's so many tradespeople open jobs right now. If they just get retrained and they're able to do it, they can find a job and make sure to
Yeah.
buy quality tools. But
Yeah.
it's out there.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
It
I
is, and
had
it's
a
going to
neighbor.
get
I had a
worse.
neighbor. I had one
Well,
of my
better,
neighbors
but
knock on my door today saying that she heard I was an electrician and her and her husband had been remodeling their house for 2 years. I'm like, yeah, I am, but I don't do side work. So it was like a kind of awkward. It was like, I am an electrician, but I don't want to help you kind of thing.
well, that's a neighbor. You don't want to have that fall back and
Yeah, and
blame you
and
for
again too,
stupid
it's like
stuff.
it'd be different if I was doing this more frequently. Like I do so little side work. Like I have to Google what my cost should be because I haven't done side work, like actual side work in 7 years. Or I guess if you go back 6 years, I worked for myself, so you can consider that.
Yeah.
But I knew the prices back then. Post COVID, I don't even know up until 2 weeks ago, I didn't know what a 2x4 cost.
Right now, I just did a side job on the side. I just charge a rate of $75 an hour. He paid for all the
Which is good.
materials anyway, so I'm like $75 an hour.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I'm
not bad.
driving over there, wasting gas. So I'm like, originally I used to do 50, but I'm like, no, you know what? They're paying for my labor, so I raise it to
Yeah.
75.
Yeah, especially
But
too, like if you start going through your company, I know some
yeah,
guys that'll charge $100 an hour because like, you figure
right.
too, if you and a helper go out to a job site and your helper's
Mm-hmm.
if he's on the books, your helper's $20 an hour and you're $50 an hour.
Yeah.
If you calculate in workman's comp, your employee's $40 an hour. And then like, if you're doing company match, like if you're doing 401k contribution or you're doing insurance for him, gets up where it's like, okay, now he's $80 an hour that I have to charge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what a lot of people
That's
don't see too. Like I had a company that I used to work for when I had my business. I would do electrical work for him. He's like, hey, well, I charged him. I gave my first invoice. He's like, oh man. He's like, well, I wasn't really expecting that much. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Well, you're not union, man. He's like, you can't charge like 50 or $60 an hour. I'm like, I own the company, dude. Like, it's my truck out there. These are my ladders. These are
mm-hmm.
my tools. I bought the material. Like, I undercharge because I want to get my foot in the door. He's like, well, you're not, can't really just make up prices. I'm like, that's not a made up price. I charge you $50 an hour for me. I charge you $50 for my truck being here because I had to drive all the stuff here and I had to go to Home Depot to get your lights and I had to go to Home Depot to get the receptacles. You didn't supply me with anything. I was like, I gave you a good price, dude. He's like, well, he's like, next time I need a better price. I'm like, I can't do better than that, dude.
Wow.
I almost I almost lost money. So it's like I was there for like 6 hours and I think actual in pocket was like $200. I'm like, dude, like that wasn't even worth it.
Yeah, for all that grief. That
So
was one of the frustrating parts is that nickel and diming.
and that's
I
part of the reason like I don't want to help neighbors. It's like I don't want to like, hey man, I need to charge you $75 an hour, or it's going to cost you $30 a receptacle to change. Or if you want hi hats in your living room, it's going to be $1,000. Like I don't want to be that. I don't want to have that weird relationship with my neighbors. I don't want to. I want to keep business
yeah.
separate from where I live. I don't want that.
Yeah, it definitely would feel awkward. Definitely.
And,
Because yeah,
and like when
across the street, I helped them out real quick, the two previous owners. And then new person came in and they're like, "Oh, the bathroom's a great job." I did not tell them I did the work because I don't want the hassle. But the
yeah,
one
right.
before that, they were nickel and dime. I did it almost for free, and they were still nickel and diming me. I'm like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this
Yep.
is annoying,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
annoying."
tough,
And his
man. Like
neighbor,
the
so it's hard to look at him after that.
Yep. Like the
But
side work that I do now, I barter now. Like I'll do with just friends that I trust. And I'm like, all
mhm.
right, dude, like I'll do your sub panel for $200, but you got to pick up all this stuff at Home Depot for me. So it's like I need 20 sheets of drywall, I need 22x4s, I need screws. You need to pick this up, and I'll do your sub panel for $200 cash on top of it.
Yeah,
Or a buddy of mine, I did all of his electrical for a pool. So breaker, wire, conduit, trench, uh, the, and once everything is in place, and it's like I pump, pool bond. I did all of it for free, but he's painting my house.
so give and take.
So we break even. We break even in the middle because he's painting. I don't like painting, and he doesn't do electrical. So we traded. All right,
That
I'll do this for you
that's
if you do this
smart.
for me.
That's smart. All right.
And it keeps it simple, keeps the money out of it, and it's like, all right, we'll just go one for one, straight and narrow, dude. It's just easier.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was looking at the other tools I would think, they would need, and you saw the big kit. It comes with a what do you call it? Fish tape. That was good. I think you
Yeah.
need that. Definitely if you're saying thinking these new guys will try to do side work, fish tape, it's so
Dude,
much easier just with a nice fish tape.
some of the best money that I ever made was I was a third year apprentice. Me and my friends got a side job wiring up a auto body repair shop, and
Really?
he wanted receptacles, he wanted lights, he wanted a welding receptacle. So it was like I think I was like 25, 20. I don't even know how old, 24, 20, whatever age. It was like
Mm,
me and my two buddies, and like I was making on paper $32 an hour on a
mm,
prevailing wage job, and I was making $35 an hour cash for this guy.
wow.
It's like my paycheck was like $800 a week for my 40 hours, and I was getting like $1,000 a week. I mean, I was working. I was working,
Mm,
but it's getting $1,000 cash, no tax man, and then
mm,
$800. I'm like, dude, like I'm working way harder during the day than I am here. And
yeah.
like the guy he would buy us Monster, he would buy us McDonald's. Like he set up an account with Rumsey back when it was Rumsey.
Mm.
He's made too. What you guys need vendors? I'll buy you vendors. You need this? I'll buy this. I'm like, I was like, dude, I was like, we're cool, dude. But that was like some of the best money you'll ever make is commercial.
Yeah.
You can't compete with it. Like the commercial industrial, they're making more money than someone is residential. So like
Yeah.
residential has money in it if you're fast and you get a lot of clientele or big
Right.
jobs like brand new houses. Like that's good money.
Right.
But commercial industrial, like if you want a welding receptacle, say, all right, well that's gonna be 4 grand, dude.
Yeah.
It's like to run all that, all the wire, all the pipe, the breaker. It's a lot of money that goes into that. But a corporation or a commercial shop, they're bringing in more money than they have more disposable money than a
Yeah.
household.
Right. And they can write you off.
Yeah, it
Like
is
I don't know
a
how much
tax
a
write off that
house. Yeah. They can write you
they can
off. They can't
they
write.
can 1099 you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things they can do.
And homes are very fickle. The market up, down,
Mhm.
home building right now they're saying home building slowing down.
Yeah,
That also suffers those who work in the residential world. The
sure.
repairs and all, yeah, of course, you're always going to have that. But their meat and potatoes, a lot of them are
Mhm.
new homes. That's where
Yeah,
meat and potatoes are. That's where you make the money.
yeah.
And that dries up. And keep telling these guys that want residential, which is fine. I think it's great. You should do it. But it dries up. It dries up.
At the
Anything
same time,
dries up. But if you're in industry, though, they're always going to make that product until they move
yeah.
overseas. But, you know,
But I guess at the same time, I guess the cost of
What would you like to add to your shopping list?
work compared to tools would be significantly lower in residential also than it would be
true.
going commercial
Yeah.
industrial because you don't
Much
need
difference. Yeah.
hydraulic benders, you don't need cable cutters, you don't need these big expenses.
Yeah. You don't need that. You're right. You just need a lot more in residential. Just need to be a hustler. Like I said, it's
Take this down on
bulwark.
your shopping list.
It's bulwark versus commercial industrial, which is like not as much bulwark. You just got to do more quality, bigger work. Makes it harder, but you need different tools, like you said. If someone's going in industry, they just don't need the basic set. If they're going commercial industrial, they're going to need something else with that. You know, with all those
Yeah.
tools.
And then too, like a lot of places, commercial industrial want you to have a larger insurance policy also before you can even enter their site. They like I know a couple of places I had been to, they want a double I call it a double $1 million policy. They want a two strike system kind of deal. Like you
Yeah.
have two situations where you get $1 million coverage in 1 year.
Okay.
So they want big time coverage because like again, they are cream of the crop. So if you damage their stuff, they want to be covered.
Right. Right.
And
And
like
then
houses, I don't believe are the same, but I haven't done much residential.
no, you definitely need insurance
Oh,
for
you definitely need insurance,
residential.
but I don't know if your
No.
policies have to be higher. But when I have my own business, I did the double $1 million policy, but I
Yeah.
covered commercial and residential. I didn't cover industrial.
That's
But
what
I
I
think it's like
have
100,
now.
100,
I,
$120 a month, I think is what I paid out of pocket.
Okay, I have that now, but I paid for 3 years. I think it was total $600 and some odd dollars for 3 years for $2 million. So that's what I'm paying now out of my own pocket to maintain that insurance for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Along with other fees that you have to pay. But yeah.
Dude, big time. Especially, I'm sure at the like company truck. Doesn't matter if it's your personal truck or the company owns it, you're still paying for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Coming out somewhere.
If you go to these big time job sites, they won't allow personal vehicles on the job site. You have to have commercial car insurance on top of these big insurance policies to cover your behind.
I did not know that.
When I had my truck and I had commercial and like I had some big jobs, like my car insurance was the highest it ever was $480 a month.
Oh,
for full coverage. Commercial on my truck was $480. And then I was like, dude, I'm not paying this anymore. And then the 1 year I was going to get into plowing because the winter was slow for me. I'm like, all right, it was like I had a shot at this big contract with at the time Don Guanala Archdiocese, since closed, but I had an option to get their plow contract for one lot. It was $5,000. Up, it was like 3 to 5 inches was $5,000 plowed and salt and shoveled. Anything over 5 inches was $1,000 per inch in the contract. I was like, all right, man, I'll buy the plow for my truck. I'll buy the solder. I already have shovels. I already have people that'll do it. And I called my insurance agent, and she's like, do not put your plow or plow insurance on your policy until you have the contract and you're leaving for the storm. So it is astronomical. It's not worth covering it unless you're driving to the storm and you're going to get paid. So you will sink. Like, oh, geez, I'm not even going to do it. It's like
I love people that are blunt. Love people that are blunt.
Shoot. She was great, dude.
Yeah, that way I don't waste my time. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she taught, like me and my business partner, she taught us a lot of loopholes. So like I was insured up to 480 volts electrical.
Okay.
I was insured for everything in a house except for insulation, mold, and asbestos remediation and mitigation. I couldn't do that stuff, and I didn't want to do that stuff. Yeah. But I could do a roof if it was part of a remodel. I could relocate insulation in a wall if it was part of a remodel. So there's like loopholes. So if I was moving a wall or if I was taking the drywall off as considered a remodel, I could do the insulation. There's like a bunch of loopholes in your insurance policy that this lady was pointing out to us. Like, man, she's like, don't pay for this. There's this loophole. Don't pay for that. There's this loophole. I'm like, this is great. But again, like I think I've just been extremely lucky with a lot of my experiences.
Right. And then luckily with all your tools that you have keeping you afloat, because it sounds like you definitely bought some tools.
When I was
doing
in
commercial, you need more. Yeah.
The commercial industrial, dude. Like I had my own Sawzall. I had my own circular saw. I didn't have a hammer drill at that time, but I had my own grinder. I had my own drill and impact. I had all of my hand tools and more. I had, I don't know. I think if I had to estimate the cost of what I physically brought to work every day, make someone else money, I think I was probably around $4,000 in my own tools to make someone else money that I brought to work every single day.
Right. And that would last you a long time as long as you take care of them, though. That would definitely make you some money in the long run.
Oh, yeah.
All those tools.
Yeah. The hard part was like we had a lot of jobs where it's brand new construction. Like we're doing duct banks. So you're in the trench, you're in the mud, there's rocks and stone and dirt and grit. There's concrete. We did our own concrete, which is cool because I learned a whole other side of a whole other aspect to the job, which I could use. We did our own housekeeping pads and our own concrete for duct banks. So I brought that into other side jobs. Like, oh, well, I know how much it costs for concrete and I know how to form it and I know how to finish like a rough finish. I'm not a master finisher, but I can do a broom and an edge on it. So I made a lot of money that way too, was just bringing this aspect that I learned because we had it in our contract that we were doing our own housekeeping pads. We were doing our own duct bank concrete. So I knew how to rough finish concrete. So I've done small sets of stairs. I've done sidewalk blocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I made a lot of money through Don Gwinnett Archdiocese because I learned this doing electrical, but I knew how to do sidewalk blocks. So I would charge $400 a sidewalk block for a demo and a repour. And
So
realistically, there's only $30 in material, or there's $35 in material to do the sidewalk block. The rest was all labor.
Okay.
So it's like you make money hand over fist in the concrete world if you pay attention. It's just labor intensive.
So you did electrical and that just to make ends meet.
Well, I mean, again, I guess, and I don't want to boast about it, but I was extremely lucky in my beginning of my career. I learned fast and early, and I because I don't want to like toot my own horn, but I thrive to be the best. I always wanted to be the best. I wanted to be the best conduit guy. I wanted to be the best layout guy. I wanted to be the fastest in the trench. I wanted to be the best lighting guy, the fastest receptacle. I don't know if I was in a competition with myself or I was trying to prove something. I don't know what that complex was, but I always wanted to be the best. So my boss always put me on the big money job. So I think
you were the best.
I was prevailing wage for 5 years. So I never saw really like the low end of being non-union. I was always on prevailing wage jobs. I was always treated well. I was always offered Saturdays. I was always offered Sundays. I was always offered tons of overtime. I was always offered great things. And I don't know if he saw the ambition or my integrity or what it was, but I was treated extremely well. So I don't have a lot of the bad experiences that other people have or may have. I was, I don't know. I was lucky.
You were lucky because there's some bad experiences out there. Ooh.
Yeah. I think you worked for the one company, Brothers Electric. I worked with a couple of those guys, and they just used and abused them. I was talking to this guy, George.
Yeah.
I worked with him for a little while, and he's like, all we used to do was
I might know George. I might know him. He sounds familiar.
Black guy.
Yep.
He's a black guy.
Yep.
George Herrett.
Yep. I know him.
It was the first time I ever met a black French guy.
Yeah,
but he
right.
wasn't actually French. It's just the last name. But I worked with him all the time, and he's like brothers. He's like, all we would do is go pull cable, and then they sent us to another job. He's like, I never had to finish work. He's like, I just pulled cable until I couldn't pull anymore.
I used to do finish work. I would have to do 1.5 townhouses a day in finishing. If I didn't finish, I took too long. Me and another guy, we were humping. And when I first started, I didn't know how to test voltage, so I asked. They're like, lick your fingers and touch. Yeah. I did that once, punch a hole in the drywall. I got in the guy's face. I said, you ever make me do this again? We're going outside. I said, this is bull. And then 3 months later, I found out about a meter and a tick tracer. I'm like, why didn't you say this in the beginning instead of letting me get hurt? Oh, electricians always do this. I'm like, well, I'm a bad electrician because I don't want to do this.
Yeah, right, dude. No way. Not worth it.
So that's one of the things I want to talk about now is the one tool I think that they should have is a meter. Now, I don't have to be this model, but if you're an electrician, the tick tracer is only there for like to assume there's something there. You really got to use a meter next if you're going to be an electrician in this field. This is the one I like. This is the most people use is this model. I don't like it, but it has an amp probe there. It has different applications. Let's go look at it. It has amps.
I like to use it just for continuity. I will say that the amp probe has been pretty accurate for me.
It has been accurate for me too. Yeah, it was the voltage I got beat up on voltage and then ohmic value, because if you test this on a wires next to a motor running, it gives you like 1.5 million ohms. You're like, oh gosh, what's going on here? I was going nuts figuring out what is wrong with my department. And the whole time it was that. So I got a meter. I forget what they call that meter with the low LZ, I think it's called. And that, low pass. This right here blocks that, and I was able to read it. But if you're going to be an electrician, not only with the Klein and all that, I would highly recommend, get a cheap one for now. But I would recommend a meter.
Yeah, look up A Klein amp probe.
Klein amp probe. Let me get that up here. Give me a minute. All right, pulling it up. All right, there you go. Yes, I have a bunch of these at my school. They're like going everywhere.
That's what I had.
I have no batteries, but yes,
that's what I had back when I bought mine. Was that? How much did it cost?
$135 at
I had a similar model when I was an apprentice, and I still have it somewhere in my basement. But I think I bought mine for like $75.
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago. That was my first meter ever.
Home Depot selling it for $69.
Yeah, so I think that's where I bought mine. Yeah, so it's probably the same price.
And it comes with a temperature range. And everybody's asking, what do you use the temperature thing? HVAC guys use that. They use that to verify that they're getting cool air out of a vent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the exact one that I have in my basement. Probably just a newer model.
Now, when you first
10 years
really?
Later, that's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Klein's kicking butt.
Yeah, dude.
Well, with that, I was just saying that's something they should add. But if they can't afford it, don't do it. But at least get a cheap model, at least, just to protect yourself. Because, like you said, your tick tracer failed, my tick tracer failed, and it hurts. I remember I was testing. You ever test the knob and tubing wiring? You ever try that?
Stay away from it.
Well, knob and tubing, you go up there, right? And I'm trying to test, and I get the tick going crazy. I use my meter, nothing. I'm like, oh, okay. I hit it, I get hit. I'm like, oh, what the heck's going on? So I finally come up with the concept of I'm plugging an outlet in, I'm plugging an extension cord to an outlet, and I run it up there. And what's happening is the neutral's not really proper, so you don't, when you test up there, you're not testing, it's all hots. That's all that's up there. You know what I mean? So you have to grab a neutral from some other source to verify power because there's no hots there, and the box is not grounded. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. I got hit pretty hard on that too. I was so angry.
Oh yeah.
Knob and tubing is they can't insure houses anymore if they got knob and tubing. That's how bad it is.
Yep. It's dangerous, dude.
Yeah, I got hit pretty hard on that, man. Kicked my butt.
Yeah, luckily again, in my entire career, I've never had to deal with it. I've had people ask me to work on it, and I just said, if we're gonna replace it or rewire it, let's go for it. But I'm not working on that.
Yeah,
I'll cut it and tuck it, but I'm not working on it.
My problem is when I started working on that kind of stuff, I was with brothers. I was learning all the wrong bad habits. Yeah. I didn't know all the right ways to do things. And then when I finally went into an apprenticeship program and I finished, I realized I did a lot of bad stuff, a lot of illegal stuff that
with mine,
I'm surprised no houses are burning up.
We kind of breezed by it in my apprenticeship because we didn't really focus on that too much, but I never had to deal with it in real life, so I never learned it. Today, I couldn't tell you how it works today. I have a theory of how I think people do it, but I have no idea.
Yeah, man.
But another one for that, to get to the knob and tube in a ceiling or an attic, need ladders, dude.
Oh,
ladders are big hidden expense.
Yeah. Okay.
Go that route. I mean, I have a 4 foot, a 6 and 8, and a 24-foot extension ladder. My extension ladder I will not use for electrical work. It's aluminum.
Okay. All right.
So I do not use it for anything. I'll use it to clean out my gutters and get on my roof, and that's about it. Okay. My 4 foot ladder was like $80. My 6 foot ladder was around $70. My 8 foot ladders, that's what a weird price jump there from a 6 foot to an 8 foot ladder. I think my 8 foot ladder is like $200.
Yeah, you see that? I'm on Home Depot. It's $69 for 6 foot, and then it jumps to $199.
Yeah, so I paid the same price a couple of years ago. I have a 4, 6, 8, and a 24-foot extension ladder. The extension ladder was the same price as my well, again, it was aluminum, but it was the same price as my 8 foot ladder.
Oh, okay.
Like the company I worked for, we had most of the trucks that he had were stocked with a 32-foot extension ladder,
mm-hmm.
a 24-foot extension ladder, an 8-foot A-frame, and a 6-foot A-frame or step ladder. So every truck was, do the math on that, about $1,000 worth of ladders on every truck that he owned.
Wow.
just ladders. And like, that's one thing you never think about. Like, oh man, I need to get a ladder to get up there. It's like, ooh, I need an 8 foot ladder to get into an attic. That's $200.
There's extension ladders now.
You figure $250 just to get on someone's roof.
Yeah.
Doing any service work. All right, well, $250 right off the top. $250 just to get up to the service.
That reminds me.
The service head.
I did a service on an aluminum ladder with 2 pieces of cardboard. That was very silly of me. I was young, stupid.
Safety first.
I didn't know safety back then. I remember I worked with brothers at that moment. I didn't know anything about safety. So, man, an extension ladder is expensive. Shoot.
But that too, an extension ladder, like you have a pickup truck.
Yeah.
But you don't have a ladder rack.
Nope.
You can't drive around that extension ladder. So now, in order for you to have that, you got to buy a ladder rack too.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get that ladder to a job. So now you're a double expense to get there.
More cost.
Yeah.
More cost.
Ladder racks aren't cheap either, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, that's another one I did was like I searched my Facebook Marketplace. Like the cheapest truck that I could find with a ladder rack in running and driving condition was like $5,000. It was like a 1980 F-150 with a ladder rack, which I would drive. I love vintage vehicles. When I do buy a truck, it's gonna be a vintage vehicle or a newer diesel.
Right.
But I'd much rather have something from the 80s than something from the 2020s.
Okay.
I'm just an old school guy. I like carburetors, mechanical diesels. But so the cheapest truck I found to get you to or from a job site, able to carry a ladder, was around $5,000. Then you get upwards 120,000 for a fully set up F450 utility bed with the ladder rack. A van, you can get one relatively cheaper for like $3,000, but then again, up to $60,000-$70,000 for the full utility van with the ladder rack. And then you figure insurance, $350, $400 a month for commercial insurance. So it's not a cheap start for that either. So unless you have the truck already or you have the van already, it's another big expense just to drive this stuff around.
Okay, makes sense.
And then the wear and tear.
And maintenance, you got to get maintenance done to it. That's expensive.
Yeah. So if you're lucky enough to get local work, you maybe two oil changes a year, or maybe you got a job in Reading this week and you got a job in Maryland the next week, and then you got a job in Princeton, New Jersey. Now you're driving 7,000 miles a month.
Yeah.
But you got to make ends meet. So now you're all right. Now I'm an oil change per month, or almost 2, and then you got inspection every year. And then you're driving. Say you're driving 60,000 miles a year. Now you're almost a set of tires a year. Plus, what's that? I can't even do the math. 10 oil changes. That's
adding money. Unless you do it yourself, that's just adding money.
And like that's kind of like where these non-union guys land. They float into Lancaster County, Chester County, Delaware County, Delaware, New Jersey. They kind of bounce around to chase the work. Or you go IBEW, which is some great prospects and some great companies in that hall, and I guess all over, where you'll stay in Chester, Delaware County, unless they request otherwise. And you can always say no.
Yeah, or work slow, make it laid off. But yeah.
Which is another thing too. Like if you don't work long enough, you can't qualify for unemployment. So if you're lucky enough, I think you get like $600 a week if you work long enough to qualify. If you work long enough to qualify. Yeah. And then you said like you've had before where your insurance lapses.
Yeah. You got to keep that going, and that's also very expensive. If you're self-employed, you got to get insurance. That's not going to be cheap. But if you're an electrician, you probably get insurance with your employment. But yeah, it's not cheap. That's another added cost.
I know.
That's just kill you.
I was doing side work with a guy that I worked with right before I started Kimberly Clark. I did quite a few side jobs with him, and he owned the business. I was a cash per diem guy. So I charged him $35 an hour cash, or if it wasn't a full day, it was like $300 a day if it wasn't a full day's work. So No, that's not right. It's like 250 a day. Yeah, I charge him 250 a day if it wasn't a full day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he had an insurance policy for him and his daughter. Just the two of them was $2,300 a month out of pocket.
My goodness.
So that's like when you own your own and you're insuring yourself, dude. It's stupid.
That is too much.
But then I know down Kimberly-Clark, the meters, back to the meters, a lot of guys use the T5 1000.
Yeah, I'm
Some
not a
guys
big
use the
fan,
87. Some guys swear by the process meter, the 789, which is a good meter, but I think it's unnecessary for most of what people actually do.
Let me see what it is.
789 it's a great meter. It's very accurate, but
Yeah,
I
we
don't
don't
know.
need that unless you're in industrial. I don't really think you need that meter.
But yeah,
It's overkill.
instrumentation.
Yeah,
Instrumentation, yeah. My
overkill.
favorite meter that I use now, I use it every day at work, is the Fluke 376 FC. And it's kind of more along the lines a HVAC meter. I got it because you can check diodes and capacitors,
Yes, I have this one.
which trickles in between back and forth between the trades. I didn't buy the one with the detachable face,
Okay, the one you can take
but
outside and put it on the outside of the
yeah,
box.
I didn't buy that one. I like it in my hand. I like to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I use that every single day. That's my
I have this
low
one.
voltage troubleshooting. That's my high voltage troubleshooting up to 600 volts. I won't touch anything higher than that, or won't encounter anything higher than that I could use
Mm-hmm.
that on. I use it every single day. The only thing you got to pay attention to is what voltage you're on, because that's one selling point for the T5 and the T6. They're auto sensing for voltage.
Okay.
So it'll auto sense and read AC or DC without you changing the dial.
Okay.
So that's just know what you're working on or what you're potentially working on. I'll give it. And if you read 0 and you don't know what this is supposed to be, check with AC and DC. I know like a lot of switchgear yards, they won't have like Kimberly-Clark, I think, has a lot of good practices and procedures that kind of make people unaware of how the real world is sometimes. So like
Mm-hmm.
their cabinets have high voltage, medium voltage. I won't say high and medium. They have 600 volts. They have
Right.
120, 24. Everything's
Mm-hmm.
color coded. If it's 120 in the panel, it's yellow. Or if it's foreign fed, it's yellow for 120. If it's foreign fed for 24, it's orange. Blue is 24 volts DC. And then 600 volts is just black. And then phased black, red, blue. So it's
Mm-hmm.
all color coordinated. So you have pretty good idea what you're touching. Like a lot of places that I've worked, it's like commercial, industrial places that I've worked. We had to phase the wire all the way to the receptacle, all the way to the disconnect. So at any given point, if it was 600 volts or 208, you had black, red, blue in your panels. So 120 volt circuits you might open that up and it's a blue wire, but it's C phase. So it's phased according to the voltage.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you're a control guy, it's like, oh well, blue's supposed to be 24 volts. You have to be weary of where you are and what environment. And like a lot of switchgear yards will just pull multi-conductor cable,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know what you're gonna. You'll have 120 here, and the next one's gonna be 24 volts. So if you don't have an auto sense, you're gonna have to switch back and forth. So
Understand.
I didn't have a good experience with the T5, so I no longer use it.
Yeah, me either.
I switched up to the 376, and if I got 0, I'll double check the drawings and see if I'm checking at the right AC or DC, whatever nominal voltage that I'm supposed to have according to the drawing. I try to do all my troubleshooting with the drawing, so I don't know. T5,
No, it
T6,
makes sense. Makes sense.
not for me.
T5, T6 is good for residential and maybe some
Yeah,
commercial, but I wouldn't use it for
no.
like real troubleshooting. I would just
87 is
use
great. The 376, I love it. I think a lot of people, I think it's a 289.
289. Yeah, that's a process meter
289 or
too, though.
280.
No,
I think it's a
289.
troubleshoot. I think it's a 289 is a troubleshooting meter.
I used to use a 289 all the time.
Yeah, the 289. I used one time. I thought it was pretty cool. I think my dad has it, but what
Oh,
is it?
sure.
Yeah, it's digital multimeter.
Yeah, True RMS.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, there's the LOZ. That's what helps
But
you.
you see, there's little symbols right after
Yep.
the ohm symbol. So you
Yep.
could there's temperature, there's continuity, there's noise, there's
Mm.
diodes, there's capacitor. There's a lot of good stuff on there.
I think it
That's a
also
that's a
can
good
come
meter
with
too.
one. You can get the one that connects to the back of it, connects here, so you can go attach to a computer. See this
Oh, that's
symbol
cool.
here? I believe you can attach to a computer to get data, but look at the price, and that's a sale price.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up
Yeah,
there.
yeah. But I have one and I love it. I use
Yeah, I
that.
mean, if you can afford it, dude, okay, buy good products because it's gonna save you.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to tell you guys that out there is buy a good set. Don't buy cheap. You'll regret it. You'll be in pain. You won't be able to strip the wire right. Because I have some
Yep.
students with strippers, and when they hit the 12 with the stripper, it doesn't strip it. I had to go
Hmm.
down to 14 to strip it. It's 12 wire.
It's not biting all the way through the insulation.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Yep.
Nope. So I don't know what's wrong with that. I just know it's not right. But between me and you, I use my dial cutters anyway. Only time I don't is when it's stranded, because stranded and dial cutters don't like each other. So that's the only time I'll use
Yeah.
strippers
Yep.
for that. So that's
The
what
other
we
thing too
talked
with
about.
with
Yeah.
cable cutters too, that's another big market there too because you have the ratchet and cable cutters when you get the big
Mm,
cable.
yeah.
Milwaukee's got the battery powered cutters. Like that's big money, dude. So outside of like the everyday residential and most of the day to day and commercial industrial, like you do get the 500 MCM, you do get the 400 MCM, the 1 aught, the 2 aught. You
Yeah.
can't cut with diagonal cutters. You can't cut that
No.
with strippers. So like a lot of guys I've seen actually use band saws and sawzalls for the big cable. But
Yeah.
Milwaukee makes cutters, Greenlee makes cutters. There's a lot of companies that make a battery powered like dual jaw cutter.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
expensive too. So I don't really
I used to
recommend those unless
ratchet,
you're
but yeah,
really good.
I used to
I like the
ratchet
ratchet
type.
better. You can
Yeah.
carry it around and no batteries, but
Hmm.
I wouldn't recommend the battery powered ones unless you get some big termination jobs.
Unless that's all you're kind of doing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one too. Yeah, if you're doing that every day, it's gonna make your life easier.
Yeah. Get the right tool to help you out. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Same thing with my right tool. And you probably saw it is on my toolbox is my seat and my foam pad.
Yeah. Yep.
Everybody's like, "Why do you got that?" I said, "I like to be comfortable. I don't like my back
Yeah.
hurting. I don't like my knees hurting. I want to be comfortable. That is my
Yeah,
tool I
dude.
take with me when I do, because I take a tool cart around like you do. So
Yep.
find a tool that you need to work on.
Yeah.
So with
But
that, I think you got anything else to add?
dude, I could go on and on because I mean, there's benders, there's threaders, there's a
Oh,
whole other side of the commercial industrial world that you can go down to. But we could always touch back on that because I mean, you got smart benders, you got hand benders, you got all sorts of threaders, all sorts of benders, you got all sorts of tools to help you out if you
so
have the money.
let's do this. Let's leave this for the entry level, right? And then we'll do a next
Yes.
segment. Maybe we'll do the higher level tools for the industry, which geared to more commercial industrial, which mean you both like better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's make the next segment let's make it more of an advanced class,
Yeah.
as you say.
Yeah.
So
Just to
with
recap,
God,
buy a nice quality set. I mean, whether if you have the finances, the Klein 18 piece, 28 or 41 piece, they're great sets to start with. If not, man, just buy some individual screwdrivers in a pouch, some cutters, a hammer, safety glasses. PPE should be provided by employer. Some people don't know that. But
yeah.
yeah, if you got the finances, 420 bucks gets you in and gets you working. If you have to do cheaper, you can go cheaper, dude. Start small.
just get into trades and start making money.
Yeah.
And then you can buy whatever you want.
Don't over purchase. Don't go too thin to try to make more money.
Right.
The money will come. Start small, expand small.
Yeah. You got to learn to trade anyway.
Yeah. Get a good cheap socket set, a nice electrical tool set, and a pouch. That'll get you by in your day-to-day to make money. And then just set milestones. Set, all right, next month I'm going to buy a good socket set. I'll buy a good wrench set. Next month I'll buy a Sawzall. The next month I'll buy the good Klein linesman. I'll buy the, I don't know, whatever, dude. Just set little milestones. Start small, progress small.
Yep. And that'll help you out.
Yep. The money will always be there. Start small, progress small.
Yes. Remember, there's tons of jobs out there. Just look for it. And then, like you said, get some good tools, what you can afford. Just to let you know, the Harbor Freight's tools are named Quinn. My last name is Quinn. I don't own it. It just happens to be that way. All right. So with that, what's that?
Same quality.
Yeah, awesome. I got it.
Yeah.
This is Sean from Tech Train Solutions. I loved having you here today. Please like and subscribe. Tell us anything you want to comment. One thing I want to know, Jake, is like anybody wants to get involved or talk to us, get a hold of us and let's talk. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm again Sean from Tech Train Solutions.
Jake Price does it, DIY and comedy stuff. Sometimes funny, sometimes not.
Yeah,
but
I'm not.
Check out Sean's videos. He's got some good stuff for getting into the trades and what steps to take, and he can help you get there.
Yeah, contact me. I'll help you out. All right. Thank you. See you guys.